Hello, 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 and welcome to the Conversation with Stevie. This is Stevie Aisha Mills, and I love the Conversation with Stevie, not just because it's my name, but because we get to talk about the why behind the what of what people do. And so today we have an amazing guest. Her name is Alandria Lloyd, and she has just written an amazing book that I know I need in my life. And I am sure that you need it in yours as well. So, Alandria, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. So, listen, I know before we really started this conversation that you were telling me about your book. So, please do recap what the book was and also who is it for?
Okay, so the title of the book is While I'm Waiting. And the book is specifically for single and unmarried women, and it's basically encouraging the single woman to change their mindset regarding their relationship status. You know, society has a way of making single and unmarried women feel kind of bad, and they put, like, unnecessary pressure on women as to when you're going to get married and why aren't you in a relationship, you know, all these different questions, especially family members, you know, when you go to, like, dinners and cookouts, if you show up alone, you know, everybody wants to know where's your date, where's your man, and that can put a sense of pressure, you know, on the single woman if they don't have the proper perspective. And so the book is basically about helping the woman change their perspective regarding their relationship status, where they're not so focused on what society is saying, and they're not so worried about when their mate is going to come, but they're more focused on pursuing purpose, and that's the purpose that God has given each and every one of us to set out for, because being singleness is a season, just like, you know, and it's a blessing, just like marriage is a blessing. And there's things that we will be called to do as wives in our marriage, but there's also things that we're called to do right now in our present season of singleness. And so the book helps the reader focus more on what he should be doing in this current season as opposed to worrying about the next.
Awesome, awesome. And so what inspired you to write this book?
Well, I'm a single woman myself, but what's really funny about this is that I had no intentions on writing this book. I was actually wrapping up another book project about my life, and so I was getting ready to get the release date and start promoting that. And literally about 6 weeks ago, during prayer, the Holy Spirit dropped this book in my spirit, gave me the whole concept for the book, what the book cover should look like, everything literally came to be in prayer, and he told me that this book was to be released in the fall of this year. So that's really how it came about. I didn't even know that it was coming, but as I began to write and how the words began to flow so easily, I realized that this book had really already been deposited in my spirit. I just didn't know it.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. And so what, as far as the inspiration of the book, as far as that goes, to help women, like, what is your biggest thing that you're looking for it to do? What would be your, like, oh, my gosh, I'm so excited that I wrote this book?
Well, definitely to just encourage single women, because I know how discouraging it can be, especially, you know, I know for myself, I had it all planned out. By the time I was 25, I was supposed to be married, have 2 or 3 children, living my happily ever after, and now I'm 34. I'm dating, but I don't really have, you know, I haven't met a potential mate that I'll say that I know is a God. You know, so really just encouraging the women. And so the greatest blessing to me from the book would be from a woman who read it and said, you know, I read this devotional and it changed my perspective. It encouraged me. It changed the way that I looked at my status, and I began to seek God more to see what he had the things for me to do in this particular season of singleness. And now that I'm fulfilling that, I find that my life has more purpose. So that would be like the greatest testament to me after someone has read the book.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And so the book is now in pre-order stage, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so let us know about the process of that.
So it's on my website, and so you can visit my website at www.alandria, that's ALANDRIAELLE.com, and so you can purchase the pre-order there. The perk of the pre-order is each pre-order will come with a free collection of 21 videos because it's 21-day devotional, so there's a video that accompanies each entry. And in the videos, I'm basically giving the inspiration of that particular entry. I'm telling more about the backstory, including personal testimony about, because all of the entries are pretty much things that I've gone through in my personally as a single woman. So just expounding a little bit more on that and praying a specific prayer relating to that topic of each entry. So whoever pre-orders the book will also get that collection of videos that's just a little more inspiration and just to, inspire them a little bit more when they may be having those moments of, Lord, where's my man type of thing.
Mhm. And as we just go through being single, do you think that we are going about it the wrong way? Meaning a lot of women have lists, right? We have lists of these characteristics and these different qualities and things like that. Do you think that we are not, really taking advantage of our singleness, or do you think we are putting too much pressure on ourselves?
I think so, because I know, for me personally, because I'm 34 years old. So I'm like, okay, God, I'm supposed to be married by now. I wanted to have, because I have one son, but I wanted, more children. I wanted to be done having kids by 35, and I'm already 34. And so, I was just putting so much emphasis on that, and, and God was just basically showing me, you're single on purpose. You're single on purpose for a purpose, and there's things that I've called you to do in this season of being single, and it's not worrying about your list. It's not looking at everybody you meet as your potential mate. It's not obsessing about the day when you're going to get married. It's things that I've called you to do. So just I've created this community specifically for single and unmarried women, and it's called Single on Purpose. And in that community, I send out emails, and it's a new thing that I recently did, but the plan is to send blogs and videos and do live sessions where we're having real conversation about the struggles of being a single woman, because not only am I single, but I'm practicing celibacy as well. So that's another, thing that can be challenging, but when you have the right perspective about it, it's not as bad as people think it would be, because I thought celibacy was just something that I wasn't going to be able to. I wasn't even interested in celibacy, but throughout the growth and the maturity of my relationship with God, and even my past experiences, it just got me to the point to where I'm really this sexual thing, that's a temporary feeling. I know I need something to actually fulfill me. I want something to be purposeful and meaningful, and I want to be able to do this where I'm not sinning and have to be convicted and repent for my actions. So I'd rather just wait until God sends me that person, and then we can engage in that type of behavior. But until then, I'm happy with, basically keeping it to myself.
Awesome. And so that just brings up two questions in mind. And the first question is, I noticed that you have, you utilize the word single and unmarried to be two different things. And so I have a clearer understanding of why you do that, but I would love for you to break that down for people who may not, they might be thinking, isn't it the same thing? What's going on? So if you could just give us more introspection on that.
Yeah, so I differentiate those two, because a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm in a relationship, or, I've been with my man for 3 or 4 years, so I'm not technically single, but you aren't married either. And so this information is for you as well, because I know that sometimes just because you're in a relationship, that may not necessarily mean you're in the right relationship. That may not mean that you're happy in that relationship. You know what I mean? And so I've been in a lot of long-term situations where I was actually quite miserable. Not saying that every relationship is bad, but the reason why I stayed, single and unmarried, because I didn't want the woman to feel like, oh, well, she must be specifically speaking about people who aren't dating or who does not have a man in their lives. But if you are not married, this is for you as well. So that's why I broke down the two.
Awesome. And so the other question I had is, in your book, do you talk about celibacy at all?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's an entry about celibacy.
Okay. And so how, in your journey, how easy or hard was it for you to? Because I've done the same practice, and so I know what it was for me. But what was the thing like? How long did it take for you to get over the point of, okay, this is hard, but I'm making?
Well, for me, I've had a lot of bad experiences. And so, just like with my previous relationship, it was kind of like the worst relationship I've ever had. And, like, very emotionally abusive, and just all different types of things happened. And so it was really like I had to pray to God so hard just to be able to get out of that situation. And I just wanted to make a change in my life full circle, because I know I could not continue to do the same things and expect a different result. So I just wanted everything to be totally different. And then I looked back on, the sexual encounters that I have had and had to really ask myself, so what did these things do for me besides provide temporary pleasure? They did not get me closer to God. It did not get me further in my career. It did not help me accomplish any of my goals. So, I'm having sexual relationships, with these people, but at the end of the day, when the relationship is over, what have I gained? And then I have to go back to God and repent for my sins and ask him to, help me and help me, even forgive myself, for giving myself to the wrong person, or, thinking, I'm in this relationship, we've been together 5 years, possibly it's going to lead to marriage, and then nothing, it's just over. So what have I accomplished by this? And so honestly, for me, I feel more empowered by practicing celibacy because I feel stronger. I feel more liberated. And I've had much more peace now in my celibacy than I ever had, when I wasn't, when I was in relationships where we were having sex. So even like when I meet guys now, that's like the first thing I tell them. So if you're not practicing celibacy, I don't want to waste your time, and I'm not going to let you come here and try to challenge me in my decision. So that's the first thing we get out of the way first. And, I mean, that helps to weed out dating and getting into unnecessary relationships, because this is who I am and this is where I am right now. So if you can't respect that, then we really don't even have to have a conversation. So I found that getting that out of the way early, that prevents us wasting our time. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And so with that, have you encountered anybody who just was disrespectful in that regard of that?
People have made comments, but really what I've had more so is that people who act like they're okay with it and later try to challenge me. So that's really what I found. Mm-hmm. That they made, feel like, oh, well, maybe this is just something she says now, but if I can impress her enough, or if she would like me enough, or, you know what I mean, if I can make her feel comfortable enough, maybe, I can be that person that she, breaks that decision for. So that is what I found in, like, the last couple of guys I've tried to, go out on dates with. Like, it would be fine in the beginning, but, like, after 2 or 3 months, then that's when they, start making a little more advances, or the conversations change, or now you want to make sexual jokes, when that's like the biggest turnoff to me at this point, So mm-hmm. That's what I found. So not so much disrespectful, but more so of, oh, well, you saying you're celibate, I'm going to challenge you and see if I can get you to change your mind, which I know that's nothing but, a tactic of the enemy, so I'm mindful of that. And as mm-hmm. soon as I see that, I cut it off immediately, because I already know, what your game is about.
Mhm. Mhm. And how long have you been going on this journey?
Oh, let's see, probably like a year.
Mm-hmm.
About a year now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so
that's
it's
awesome.
Just been, like, it hasn't been that long, but it is kind of that long, for someone who hasn't,
yeah.
I've been practicing, sexual activities for a long time, so just to kind of stop now, but it's like, it's just so rewarding. And it really, I feel good without having, because, we have to repent enough for sins, right? So I'm glad that one, I don't have to keep repenting for that same thing, because, like, with me, I would feel so bad. I would be so convicted, and I would feel so dirty after having sex with a person, especially,
you know, especially like I accept my ex, you know, and he was cheating and ended up getting somebody else pregnant. And it's just like, you know, I'm giving myself to you and you're not even grateful, you know, like that's not even enough for you. And at the end of this situation, when it all fizzles out, I'm the one running back and crying back to God, asking him to forgive me and clean me up and help me to forgive myself because I've yet made another poor decision. So just that fact alone, that's really what encourages me to like just keep it. You know, that's what empowers me, that I can date you without going all the way with you. Like, it's at this point, if you have no future and no plans to marry me, if we're not actually moving towards something, then I just don't have the time to waste.
Yeah. And that's true. And I think that comes with maturity. Definitely the fact that, you know, you're able to say that. Because I think a lot of times what happens, especially with women, it's an old saying that talks about women use sex to get love and men use love to get sex. And so when you go through that and you are looking on that journey, it does take a mind switch to go from that point of I'm not going to do this anymore. And it is a very spiritual thing. So, you know, I just applaud it because anybody who does that for any length of time has had to come to a realization that is different from society. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Different. So I think it's awesome. I think it's very awesome. And
I give all glory to God because I definitely could not have. This is not by my own will or power or strength at all. But I definitely, you know, thank God because it's just like I said, I look back on it now and it's like it's not worth it because just like you said, you know, people have sex for love. Like that's really why I was doing it in the first place. You know, like even when I first began, because I've been having sex since I was 12 years old. So I felt like I had to do that because I wasn't sure of myself. I wasn't confident in myself. I had a lot of self-esteem issues. And I felt like, well, this is what I had to do to get this boy to like me, you know, and so I grew up with that same mindset even at 25 years old. Like I wasn't still unsure of myself. I didn't know what I had to offer, so I felt like I had to have sex with him to keep him interested in me, you know, and it's like, and then I find out you're cheating on me, and then you get other people pregnant, and then you got all these lies and games going on, and so it's like my purpose for even having sex with you is not even, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even, that's not even working. So really, what am I doing, you know? And that's what I really had to, like, just sit and ask myself, like, what are you doing? Like, all you're doing is putting yourself in these positions, you're getting stressed out, you're still heartbroken, you're still disappointed. Like, what are you gaining from this? And like I said, now that I'm done with that, I just feel so much better, and I just have so much peace. And that's the message that I try to get out to other women. You know, like, celibacy is not bad at all. Like, as much as I loved having sex, and I loved it a lot, I love celibacy even more because, like I said, it's just more empowering, and I feel so much stronger and just have a better peace of mind for myself. And it's really a blessing for me.
Absolutely. And I think that it really can be used as something to definitely empower all women, but definitely empower our younger women because I know for me, a lot of the middle school, even nowadays, elementary school, different points of life are utilizing sex right now. Mm-hmm. So I think that it's very important that we say, you know, in a way that's very not like you telling somebody what to do because I feel like that's the worst thing you could do is to tell somebody what to do. Right, that's the quickest turn off. But I feel like sharing your story, you know, a lot of people want to feel like they're not alone, but they don't want to address the fact of what to do. So I think it's important. And I think that this book that you have created is going to be one that's going to really, really impact the lives of people because we need it. You know, we need to see things that are going to empower us. So we need to see things that are very well written and easy to implement and easy to go along with. And I love the fact that you said for the pre-orders you'll have videos because a lot of people, you know, I'm an author as well, but I'm also a visual learner. So,
right.
you know, having a video to go along with it is a very creative thing. And so I definitely want to make sure that before we leave in just a few moments, that we'll go and tell, again, the pre-order information, because it's highly important that people, you know, support this. It's very important for that, because a lot of times, like you're saying, we do get lost in the fact of, okay, I am single, or okay, I'm unmarried, or okay, and until much later on in life. Like for me, I'll be 40 in October, so I've been where you are. You know, I've been where a lot of other women who may read the book are. And for me, I had to come to a realization, because your story, your testimony is similar to mine. Like, that's really what sex was for me. I definitely was a person who thought this person liked me if he wanted to sleep with me. Right. And until I got much later, I had to kind of grow into that point of, that's not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand it, and I get it from the point of, you know, you need a resource. And this book sounds like an amazing resource to have for people who are going through the whole thing of, you know, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I need some help, I need some support, I need something to get me through, because this life is not easy. So I really am excited about that. We are about to wrap up in a few more minutes, but one of the questions I always ask people when they come to the conversation is truly about, what is it that you're like, Stevie, we cannot leave this conversation today without your people knowing blank, blank, blank. How would you fill in the blank?
Okay, we cannot leave this conversation without knowing that singleness is a blessing. Like, singleness is a season that God has given you, and it's a great platform for you to strengthen your relationship with yourself as well as with God. During this season of singleness, I've learned so much about myself. I've learned how to love myself, because for years I spent so much time in these different relationships seeking for love, hoping that a man would find me worthy, and hoping, you know, that he found me, you know, great enough or worthy to be loved. And at the end of it, when it did not work out, I left feeling even emptier than I did before, because I was basing my validation on the wrong things. So being single for me has been the most empowering and liberating moment in my life, but it came with a change of perspective. I had to change my perspective and stop worrying about, oh God, when am I going to meet this man who's going to be, you know, the man of God that I need, and who's going to find me worthy, and who's going to actually see me for who you created me to be. I had to change my focus on that. And even in prayer, God told me that the focus is not to be found, you know, because we're taught, you know, that we should position ourselves so that, you know, the man can find us. And, you know, of course, the Bible, you know, speaks about that, about the man finding the woman, but we should not just be waiting to be found. Like, there's so much purpose that we should be pursuing, and so many beautiful things and blessings that God has for us that are not just wrapped around a man or us having a ring on our finger to say that we're engaged or married. So you have to know that as a single woman, you are powerful, you are beautiful, you have purpose, and you are single on purpose, and it's time to use this platform to pursue that purpose.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it is true. You know, what you just said is profound, because you can't just sit around. You know, you can't sit around and wait. You've got to become the woman who a great man would want to have. You know, like, for me, I think a lot of times we as women truly just say, okay, I want this, this, this. He has to have this. He has to have a job. He has to have 401k, he has to have this amount of money in the bank, this credit score, this. He has all these things, but, you know, a lot of the women who are saying those type of things don't even have it themselves.
Right.
So it's like, either.
And I talk about that in the devotional too, like, when that's an interest, you're already making yourself more of an asset, you know, instead of focusing on all these things you want him to have. What are you bringing to the table as well, you know?
Absolutely, because I want to be a part of a power couple. I don't want to be a hanger-oner or a trophy or any of these other things. I don't want to be that. And so I think we just really have to get with God and get with ourselves and get with this book and really understand what it is that we are looking for and what it is that we can do during this time, because, like you said, it is a blessing. It is a blessing. So many people want to rush through their lives in all regards and all aspects, but we have got to make sure that we are, like, ready. You know, it's one thing to be in a season, but it's another thing to be ready for the season. And so I am excited that you have this great work. I am excited that you really are, you know, concerned, you know, and concerned about a woman who you were. You know, that's really the greatest gift that anybody can have, is to go back to the woman, or to the man for that matter, who they were. That's why a lot of my work has to do with, like, really finding freedom within yourself, because I didn't have it.
Exactly.
I did not have that. So really, I apply people like that. And what I want to do before we leave is definitely get your contact information, and definitely if you could go over, you know, what you get for the pre-order again, in case someone missed that, please do.
Okay. All right. So, again, the perk of pre-ordering, you will get it. So it's a 21-day devotional. So the perk of the pre-ordering, this is only available for pre-ordering. It will not be a separate option after the book comes out. So this is only for pre-orders. But you will get a collection of 21 videos that accompany each entry. And it's given more of the backstory, more of the inspiration behind why I wrote that particular entry, my personal testimony, and how I, you know, went through that particular incident and how I was able to overcome, as well as scripture in a personal a prayer specific to that that entry. So that is the perk of the pre-order. In order to be able to get the book, you can visit my website. It's www.alandriaell.com, and that is spelled ALANDRIAELLE.com. And also, if you'd like to be a part of my community that is specifically for the single and the unmarried women, that is bit.ly/single on purpose. And so it is case sensitive. So the single has a capital S, on has a capital O, and purpose has a capital P. So, again, that's bit.ly/single on purpose. And with that, you'll receive, like, emails, blogs, videos, and just inspiration just to be able to, because it's more, you know, the book is like a platform, but it's bigger than that, because we need, you know, continual support and just a sisterhood to be able to let our sisters know, hey, I have your back. You are not the only one dealing with this, and you do not have to deal with it alone. So that's the purpose of that group.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for being with us.
And thank you so much for having me.
You're so welcome. I look forward to the testimonies that shall come from this movement that you're creating. I think it's bigger than this book. As great as the book is, I just feel in my spirit that God is going to do something immense through it, and the testimonies that will come are going to be so mind-blowing. You know, things happen for a reason.
Exactly.
And we'll talk about that offline, but things happen for a reason. And I do believe that this conversation at this time and for this purpose is on purpose. Just like single on purpose, this right here is on purpose. And so thank you for just having the ability and the foresight and the transparency and the truth to help another person get through where you are. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much again for having me on, and I just pray that, you know, this interview will definitely be a blessing and some encouragement to all the women that will listen. Because trust me, sister, I feel you.
Amen, girl, yes. So we are going to have you back definitely sometime. I want to invite you back in the fall of the year to give us an update. You know, give us an update of what's happening, because I believe I'm waiting for the testimonies, and so it's going to be some powerful ones that come that we have not seen from some women who you have no idea who they are. They're going to be on the other side of the world, and they are going to really have a strong testimony, a life-saving testimony. So
Amen.
I want to be here for it. So
yes.
It's going to come. I feel it.
Yes, I know it. Amen.
Yes. Everyone, thank you again for tuning into the Conversation with Stevie. This has been an amazing conversation, one that God specifically positioned on this day for this time and this reason, something he did for a purpose, on purpose. And I am excited to see what we know will come. And so, everybody listen. I am Stevie Aisha Mills. I help you get on the news for free. And I am excited by just bringing you this amazing outlet for your story to be heard. I always tell people, do not have a great day. No. Make it a great day. Why? Because you, and yes, you too have the power to do so. Bye for now.